While English is not the most complicated language in the world, it's quite hard to learn it unless you follow a certain effective plan. Unfortunately, the internet is full of self-proclaimed language experts like me, or even worse, who keep giving really bad advice about learning English. In this video, I will explain to you why certain language learning tips will most likely make your learning way longer and more complicated. First of all, a lot of teachers will tell you that a language is based on grammar. They say, learn grammar first, learn all the grammar, including the complicated rules that you don't understand. Well, it's not true. The language is a balanced mix of grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, reading, and listening skills. And the secret to success is to combine those factors all together from day one when you start learning English. I know a lot of people who know the grammar that probably the majority of native speakers don't know, but they still can't speak English. So learning grammar is only good in a complex and combined approach. You shouldn't concentrate on the technical aspects of the language much. And it's not only about a common sense of learning something, it's also boring. So if you keep learning grammar only, you will most likely give up in a couple of weeks. Secondly, there is a big myth that you should start speaking to someone and look for some speaking clubs when you are good enough to understand the language and express your thoughts. I've seen so many people struggling to learn English with tutors for years and giving up just because their tutors discouraged them from practicing their non-perfect language. We learn by acquiring the language, not by learning words and grammar rules. So I motivate every student who learns English to find any available way to practice their speaking from week one of their journey. It's cool if you have a speaking club of other ESL students whose English isn't perfect, but it's also important to listen to good English to remember things the right way. Also, there is an old myth that you should read a lot in English if you want to take your level higher. Well, it certainly helps, and reading skills are an important aspect of learning English, but I would say currently people don't learn much by reading text. Reading should be integrated into the complex process of learning a new language, but your learning should not be based on reading. Unfortunately, this will only help you develop one skill, but you will not be able to speak and to listen. You will be helpless when you suddenly get into the English-speaking society, and you will probably ask them to write down what they want to tell you. So be careful with this old idea of learning English by reading books. One more tip to stay away from is watching films with subtitles. The thing is that when we watch a film with subtitles, we basically read the text. We are disturbed from the speech of actors, from the pronunciation of words and phrases. We focus on understanding the language that is often pretty hard to understand, and we come down to reading the text. I strongly recommend watching all kinds of videos in English without subtitles. Of course, you should choose something appropriate for your level. Keep in mind that the majority of Hollywood films aren't good for English learning at all. They are only good for very high levels, but they won't teach you much. Then there is a myth that if you learn something by heart, you will remember all the words from that piece of text and your brain will absorb all the grammar. This is, let's say, not true at all. Some old school teachers still use this method. They make their students learn stories and poems by heart. I should say that many people will find this task extremely hard and super boring. And also the advantages of learning some texts by heart for your language level are close to zero. This is good for your brain activity, but certainly not the perfect way to learn a new language. One more way to spend a lot of time with close to zero efficiency for your language level is to prepare for a certain language test, unless you actually need to take it. I know a lot of people who studied for taking IELTS exam, but they did not actually need that certificate. The problem is that When preparing for the test, you will spend 80% of your time understanding the test structure, the ways to overcome some difficulties in certain tasks, and also tricks to pass the test faster. And I can assure you that this will not help you with the level of your English. Always focus on complex and versatile approaches to language learning that include a reasonable amount of reading, listening, speaking, and writing. This way you will obviously achieve much better results.